Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Ron Cubit. I'll be presenting information to you today that was originally designed for the 2020 Black History Month. The title of the presentation is The Black Vote and So You Want to Write and Publish a Book. If you look in the upper right hand corner of the slide, you'll see an image that was obtained from the Association for the Study of African American Life and History's website. Much of what I'm going to present in this first of 4-part series was obtained from their website. If you look at the bottom right-hand corner of the slide, you'll see a copy of the cover of my book, Who's Healed the Me. This slide provides an overview or a roadmap for the entire presentation. First is a summary about the 2020 Black History Month theme. Next will be a summary of my book, then an overview of Dr. C's website, yours truly. Then I'll talk about the phases of the publishing process, at least the publishing process for me. In the first phase is So You Want to Write a Book. I'll talk a little bit about my reasons for writing a book. And then phase 2 is finding that publisher or agent and the differences between a publisher or agent and the challenges associated with finding either. Next, I'll talk about the editing process in phase 3. And in my opinion, the editing process can sometimes be lengthier than the writing process. In phase 4, I communicate information about finally being published and your book shows up on the internet. Phase 5, there's a few tips about advertising, some of the things that I've done to advertise my book. And phase 6 is the never-ending process of marketing your book. And after phase 7, you see I left a question mark because I'm not certain about what's going to happen in the future. In this presentation, I'll also relay some information to you about the second book I'm writing, which is a continuation of my first book. And I start my second book with a chapter about Is the Grass Truly Greener? Then an explanation about the Shabby Motel, which is the preface for my first book. In book 2, similar to my first book, I further communicate interesting situations I, as an African American male, and professional faces. For example, one being preconceived thoughts or stereotyping. For my job, I was on temporary assignment in a very small town in rural Wisconsin. I should say I was just in the back country. Based on my experiences, I do believe that those folks had limited exposure or none to an African American male, especially at the grocery store. It had gotten so bad in Wisconsin, I started to get me one of those trolley boards I call them anyway. Did you see those individuals trolling on the streets when they're trying to sell something? And on that board, I was going to put, I've never played for the Green Bay Packers on both sides in bold letter, and stand on the corner every Saturday morning and twirl that board. It got so bad there once I was cornered in a local supermarket by 3 store employees, and their goal was to convince me why I resemble a Green Bay Packer professional football player regarding preconceived notions or stereotypes. In the first book, I write about why I dress professionally at work or when teaching. I was at a local supermarket in Denver, Colorado, professionally dressed, and an individual asked me if I played for the Denver Nuggets. I looked in his eyes and said, "No, I'm Snoop Doggy Dogg." As I passed him, I started to wonder, with a shirt and a tie on, why the individual thought I played for the Denver Nuggets. 5 college degrees and a doctor from Pepperdine. I have my own website and writing a second book. Yet that individual could not get past the preconceived thought that I might be a professional athlete. I write about these situations in my second book, including situations that I experienced in the outdoors while I'm backpacking and hiking. In the second book, I also include a chapter called Who's Your Daddy? And the last bullet point that you see there will be my final thoughts. And what's coming next for Dr. C? This slide displays key provisions of the 2020 Black History Month theme and marks the 100th anniversary of the 19th Amendment guaranteeing and protecting women's constitutional right to vote. The 2020 Black History Month theme also denotes the culmination of women's suffrage. The word suffrage means the right to vote in an election. Then, female suffragists were known as suffragettes. The theme also marks the sesquicentennial, the right of black men to ballot after the Civil War, and the struggle concerning the part of both black men and black women the right to vote. In this slide, I present to you historical content about the 2020 Black History Month theme. Before the Civil War, black men petitioned their legislators and the U.S. Congress seeking to be recognized as voters. Early 20th century actions undermined the guarantees of the 14th and 15th Amendments for a great majority of Southern blacks to vote. Those challenges continued until the Voting Rights Act of 1965. The challenge for black voting rights continues in the courts today. The 2020 Black History Month theme also includes the rise of black elected and appointed officials at the local and national level. African American roles in traditional and alternative political parties is part of the 2020 Black History Month theme as well. For a list of Black History Month themes from 1928 to 2020, visit the website for the Association for the Study of African American Life and History, and that website address is at the bottom of the slide. This is the final slide commemorating the 2020 Black History Month. Remember, it's your right to vote and your responsibility as an American citizen for 2020 and beyond. Remember to do your homework and ensure that the candidates you vote for, that their politics, ethics, and morals align with yours. Remember, your vote counts, and remember the price many pay for your right to vote. This is the end of part 1 of the presentation of Black Vote, and so you want to write and publish a book. Finally, remember to visit my website for updates, upcoming books and nooks, the outdoor world, and upcoming blog web pages. And most importantly, remember to get a copy of Fool's Hill the Meaning Why, and I'm sure you'll enjoy reading it, available at your local bookstore or most online retailer. If you enjoyed this presentation as much as I enjoyed delivering the information to you, stay tuned for part 2. In closing, I end this presentation as I do with any message. Success to you. Dr. C out.